King Von was Black Disciples to his core. O Block, 64th, and King Drive, the most dangerous block in Chicago.
My brother got the rack lit, O Block, 3rd, 64th, like, everybody would want to go over there because my brother, like, he the real GOAT.
However, new footage of his own mother surrounded by alleged Gangster Disciples members just surfaced online, and the internet is calling it the ultimate betrayal of everything Von stood for. This is what happened with King Von's mom and the GDs. Here is everything behind that footage and why it broke the internet. The footage and the fallout. The footage spread across X, TikTok, and Instagram. Videos showed Tasha Bennett, King Von's mother, in clubs, dancing, posing, and socializing. Photos circulated widely. One X post from Am My Mixtapez showed photos of Tasha in a form-fitting brown bodysuit with gold boots, captioned about her being ready to hit the club in her 50s. That post alone pulled over 11,000 likes and 2 million views. But the comments were not about her outfit. The comments were about the people standing near her, people the internet identified as Gangster Disciples members based on tattoos, hand signs, or known associations. Rumors surfaced in late 2025 and early 2026 that Tasha was dating or socializing with a GD member. Fans said the same thing over and over. How can she be around GDs when her son died repping BD? To understand why that question carries so much weight, you have to understand who King Von was. King Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett on August 9, 1994, was a Chicago rapper affiliated with the Black Disciples gang, specifically from the O Block neighborhood in Chicago's South Side. O Block is named after Odie Perry, a fallen BD member. Von's lyrics referenced gang rivalries, particularly those with the Gangster Disciples. The BD-GD conflict has lasted decades. It has taken lives on both sides. Von's entire public identity was tied to that war. Then Von was fatally shot on November 6, 2020, at age 26 during a shootout outside a nightclub in Atlanta, Georgia. He left behind 3 children, a catalog of music, and a mother who would now carry the weight of his name in public. Tasha Bennett is that mother. She raised Von in Chicago. She watched him go to jail. She watched him come home and become a rapper. She watched him sign with Lil Durk's Only the Family label and release hits like Crazy Story. She was there when he was acquitted in a murder trial. His sister, Kayla B., recalled sitting in that courtroom. Kayla described knowing her brother would beat the case based on how the witnesses behaved. And then, after all of that, after Von died, after the tributes, after the posthumous albums, the footage dropped. His mother, near alleged GDs. The internet did not ask for context. It reacted. Tasha responded. She denied romantic involvement with any GD member and said her personal life had nothing to do with gang politics. She said she was focused on healing and living her life. But the internet had already made up its mind. The footage was out. The takes were in. And Tasha Bennett was now at the center of a conversation she did not start. To understand why this footage carried so much weight, you have to understand the war it references, and that war goes back over 50 years. The war between the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples. The BD-GD rivalry is not a rap beef. It is a generational conflict rooted in Chicago's South Side that predates drill music by decades, and it is the lens through which every person judging Tasha Bennett's choices is looking. It starts in the 1960s. Chicago's industries were collapsing. Manufacturing had moved overseas, steel production was drying up, and the African-American communities that had migrated to the South Side during the Great Migration were being choked by unemployment and deliberate marginalization. Restricted covenants blocked the sale of property to black tenants. Banks refused to lend in their neighborhoods through redlining. Young black men, tired of being bullied and abandoned by a city that did not want them, banded together into street crews for protection.
So with all of this going on at the time, it's safe to say that no one was really looking out for the best interests of the black community in Chicago.
Out of those conditions rose the Disciples, later upgraded to the Devil's Disciples. One of the founding members was a teenage leader named David Barksdale, known as King David.
David Barksdale was famously referred to as King David.
Von himself reportedly claimed to be the grandson of David Barksdale, the founder of the Black Disciples, a claim that deepened his personal stake in the BD identity. Meanwhile, in 1964, a group of young men met in the home of Larry Hoover and decided to start their own crew, the Supreme Gangsters.
The story of the crew, who would later go on to be the GDs or Gangster Disciples, starts in 1964 when a group of young men all met in the home of a man named Larry Hoover.
They watched the hustlers from a window and realized they were sitting sitting right on the border of rival territory, so they claimed their own block.
They decided that they wanted to start their own crew and take over the block.
Initially, the Supreme Gangsters and the Disciples had no beef with each other, but as Barksdale expanded his operation into the Black Disciple Nation, rivalries intensified, and the two factions collided. Ironically, they actually merged in 1969 to form the Black Gangster Disciple Nation, with Hoover and Barksdale sharing power. That fragile union held for 5 years, until Barksdale's death in September 1974 from kidney failure tied to an old gunshot wound.
And after King David's death, it seemed like many members stopped respecting Larry Hoover's leadership, and ultimately leading members to disrespect the Supreme Gangster side.
The love for King David among his loyalists was simply too powerful for Larry Hoover to contain. Members splintered off, re-establishing the Black Disciples as their own entity, and what followed was an immediate civil war. The BDs and GDs, once brothers in the same organization, were now mortal enemies. That war has never stopped. Through the crack epidemic of the 1980s, the two gangs waged devastating campaigns for control of Chicago's drug markets. The GDs ran a rumored $100 million a year cocaine operation out of housing projects like Robert Taylor Homes and Cabrini Green. The BDs operated from what they called the Castle, a headquarters that allegedly netted up to $300,000 a day. Both sides recruited children as soldiers. The violence was relentless, personal, and cyclical, each killing producing the next.
Today, the Housing Authority is $30 million in debt. The building codes are not being enforced, and the elevators, when they work, are called the most dangerous form of public transportation in Chicago.
The news cameras caught what residents had been living through for years.
The only structure is provided by the gangs, who marked their turf with spray paint and set up sniper posts in high-rise buildings.
The scale of violence within these projects was staggering. In 1 year alone, Cabrini Green recorded 200 people shot or stabbed, a rate of 8 violent crimes for every 100 residents. And at the center of the carnage were the GDs and BDs, fighting over territory, drug revenue, and pride. By the 1990s, federal law enforcement started dismantling both organizations from the top down. Larry Hoover was hit with fresh charges after authorities wiretapped a visitor's badge used by enforcers who came to receive instructions from him in prison. He was shipped to a Supermax facility in Colorado, cutting his communication with the streets almost entirely. On the BD side, high-ranking member Robert Allen flipped in 1998 after admitting to selling over 220 pounds of crack, leading to 21 fresh indictments against BD members. The demolition of housing projects like Robert Taylor Homes in the early 2000s displaced members of both gangs, scattering them into new neighborhoods and forcing new alliances. The centralized power structures crumbled. In their place rose smaller, more volatile street sets, crews that claimed individual blocks and feuded with whoever was on the next one over, regardless of old alliances. That renaming happened after O.D. Perry was killed. O-Block became the most famous BD set in the country, immortalized by Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and eventually King Von. Across the street, GD sets like STL, later Tookaville, and EBT formed their own identities, with rappers like FBG Duck carrying their flag. The drill music era turned these block wars into international entertainment. DJ Academics documented the violence on his War in Chirac channel. Noisy's Welcome to Chirac series profiled the music side. Fans absorbed the feuds like a television series, one where the characters were real people dying real deaths. This was the environment that shaped entire generations, including King Von. When people saw Tasha Bennett in those videos and reacted with outrage, this is the history they were referencing, even if they did not know the full depth of it. The BD-GD split is not abstract to people from Chicago. It is woven into family lines, street corners, and graveyards. For someone like King Von, it was the axis around which his entire life rotated. King Von's role in the BD-GD war. King Von was not a casual bystander in the BD-GD conflict. He was a direct participant, and the war shaped his music, his reputation, and ultimately the trajectory of his short life. His involvement is central to understanding why footage of his mother near alleged GD members generated such visceral reactions online. Von grew up in Parkway Gardens, the housing complex that younger BD members renamed O-Block after their slain member O.D. Perry. Between June 2011 and June 2014, that single block recorded a total of 19 shootings, earning earning it the label of the most dangerous block in Chicago. The GD sets across 63rd Street, STL, later renamed Tocqueville after another fallen member, and EBT on 64th and Eberhard were O Block's direct rivals. Vaughn's alleged involvement in the war's violence began prominently in 2014. At age 19, he was implicated in the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Gakira K.I. Barnes, a notorious GD figure from the STL faction who was herself credited with multiple murders, including, according to street lore, the killing of Odie Perry. Police questioned Vaughn as a person of interest, but witness inconsistencies prevented charges at the time. Unsealed Chicago Police Department documents in 2021, however, named him as her killer. His sister Kayla B. acknowledged being aware of the reports, while making clear she was not going to confirm anything about her brother's alleged activities.
Y'all got a video or something? Like, how y'all know my brother did that? If it ain't no video, he ain't did shit.
She pushed back against the posthumous pinning of cases on Vaughn.
Y'all ain't gonna put that on my brother, he ain't did shit. Let him rest.
Kayla made it clear her brother's name did not deserve to be a dumping ground for unsolved cases.
Like, stop putting shit on him, that shit lame.
The feud intensified in the drill rap era. Vaughn traded public provocations with GD-affiliated rapper FBG Duck from the Tocqueville faction. Duck's 2020 track Dead mocked deceased O-Block members by name. According to FBI files and court documents, Vaughn allegedly placed a bounty on Duck, initially $50,000, later raised to $100,000. On August 4, 2020, Duck was ambushed and killed in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood. 6 O-Block BD members were convicted in January 2024 on federal racketeering charges tied to the hit. 3 months after Duck's death, Vaughn himself was dead, shot in Atlanta during an altercation with rapper Quando Rondo's crew. The man who pulled the trigger, Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, described the moment on Vlad TV.
Well, you pull out and you shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed?
Yeah.
Lil Tim said his weapon malfunctioned after the 3rd shot.
After the 4th shot?
Probably like the 3rd shot.
Okay.
He was then shot twice by police who responded to the scene.
What parts of the body?
I get shot in my right hip bone, and I get shot on my ass. It go in and out though.
The injuries were severe enough to require extended medical care, but the interviewer pressed on about the experience.
Okay, so this is now the 2nd time you've gotten shot.
All charges against Leaks were dropped in August 2023 under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law, with prosecutors determining he acted in self-defense. Vaughn's sister, Kayla B., was in the parking lot that night. She did not see the shooting itself, but she heard it, and what followed was a sequence of phone calls that dismantled her world in stages.
I'm in the car with my friends and my brothers and them, like, we just talking and shit. And we hear gunshots. What the f?
Her driver froze. The car did not move immediately. Chaos was unfolding around them. Gunfire, people scattering, bodies hitting the ground.
So my driver, he pull out, but then he like stopped and freeze up. So now we see like what's going on, like the shooting.
When the initial shock passed, Kayla started calling. She called her brother first. He did not answer. She called her cousin Bonnie, who picked up and told her Vaughn had been shot, but said he was okay, that it was only one time.
For real, I'm like, what the f? I still go crazy and shit. So that's when everybody calling me and shit. They were saying he was good and shit.
She tried to settle herself. She stayed up until 7 in the morning, then finally managed to fall asleep, holding on to the reassurance that he was okay.
So I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna stress it, but it's like, I stayed up till like 7 in the morning. I ain't getting no sleep.
Then came the second call.
Man, I wake back up. His cousin called me. He gone. I see that on the internet. I went crazy.
That is the specific documented pain that sits behind every conversation about King Von's legacy. When fans talk about the BDGD war, they are often processing it through music and memes. When Tasha Bennett and Kayla B live with it, they are processing it through calls at 7 a.m. telling them their son and brother is dead. This is the world Tasha Bennett lived in. Her son was entangled in a war that consumed friends, rivals, and eventually Von himself. Every person who commented on that viral footage measured it against this specific history, a history written in caskets and court filings. Tasha Bennett, a mother living in public. Tasha Bennett did not choose to become a public figure. Her son's fame and his death pushed her into a spotlight she has navigated with a mix of grief, defiance, and refusal to shrink. Understanding who she is beyond the viral footage is critical to seeing the full picture. She raised Vaughn in one of the most violent neighborhoods in America. Vaughn's father, Walter E. Bennett, known as Silk, spent most of Vaughn's childhood in and out of jail and was killed when Vaughn was 11. In a documentary-style interview shared on TikTok, Tisha spoke about the weight of that loss and what it it meant for her eldest son. She described the emotions of losing Von's father. I was upset, angry, disappointed. It's a whole lot of different emotions because it's my first child, father, and he don't get to see him grow up. The absence of a father figure in Von's life was something she carried, and something that shaped the path Von ultimately took into the streets. When Von's music career took off, Tasha was described as supportive, but reportedly disapproved of his continued gang involvement. She was once seen in a viral video confronting him about his affiliations, trying to steer him away from the life that would eventually kill him. Von's sister Kayla B described their mother's complicated relationship with the family in her own interview, noting generational tensions.
She kind of stuck in her ways. A lot of people say we act alike. So maybe that's the reason, like, she still want to be young and stuff.
Kayla offered a frank assessment of their mother's personality.
It's like she's stubborn too. Like, she be stuck in her ways. She's stubborn with, like, I feel like as a mother, you shouldn't be like that with your kids.
After Von died, Tisha's public presence intensified. She managed aspects of his legacy, responded to rumors, and posted tributes on anniversaries. On the 3rd anniversary of his death, she shared a message through his official Instagram. "We all miss you, but we're grateful for the memories and music you left us with. You really left a huge impact on all our lives." In a more recent interview clip, she was asked what she missed most about Von. Her answer was not about music or fame. It was intimate and devastating. His smile when he tilted his head when him giving me a kiss. "I love you, Ma." But Tasha also refused to exist solely as a grieving mother. She maintained an active social media presence, posting photos of her outfits, travels, and nightlife. Her bold fashion choices and youthful appearance led to her going viral multiple times on her own terms, with fans praising her, confidants and critics accusing her of behaving inappropriately for a woman in her 50s. When trolls attacked her for wearing revealing clothing, she responded with characteristic bluntness. "Lol, it's just shorts and body." When an AI-generated image depicting her at Von's gravesite circulated online, she shut it down. "This is not real, and I don't think it's funny." And then came the GD footage. Rumors surfaced in late 2025 and early 2026 that Tasha was dating or socializing with a Gangster Disciples member. Videos and photos placed her in social settings with individuals that online commentators identified as GD affiliated. The internet did what the internet does. It collapsed a complicated human being into a single narrative. She was either a traitor to Von's memory or a free woman living her life. There was no room for anything in between. Tasha addressed the rumors directly, dismissing them as misinformation. She emphasized she was not dating any GD member and that she would not allow her personal life to be policed by gang politics, even the ones that shaped her son's existence. The irony is that Von himself was known for his generosity, his warmth with family, and his protectiveness over the people he loved. Kayla B spoke at length about this side of him, the side that existed behind the drill lyrics and the street reputation. She described how Von took care of everyone around him once the money started coming in.
There's a lot of situations that we don't even know about that he helped people.
Yeah, his guys, that nigga, he loved them little boys.
His crew looked up to him so deeply that many of them called him Pops, a term of endearment that spoke to the fatherly role he played despite being barely in his mid-20s.
Like, most of them call him Pops. Like, so that happening for Von, like, they was excited. They was happy as hell because they know Von gonna make sure everybody's straight.
Von made sure Kayla was taken care of. He made sure his mother was straight. He made sure his baby mamas and his children had what they needed. He had once taken a photo of Kayla when she was not even looking, then later told her he was going to make sure she had everything she ever wanted.
Like I told you, he had took a picture of me. I wasn't even looking. He was like, Shorty finna have everything she ever wanted.
That is the person Tasha Bennett raised. That is the person she lost. And now, the same internet that celebrates Von's street credentials and bumps his music daily is the one telling his mother how she is allowed to grieve and who she is permitted to stand near, why it went viral, and what it means. The footage of Tasha Bennett with alleged Gangster Disciples members did not go viral because of what it showed. It went viral because of what people projected onto it. It sat at the intersection of gang loyalty, generational grief, gender, expectations, and the peculiar way hip-hop culture turns real-life pain into content. The first layer is gang loyalty. In Chicago's drill ecosystem, affiliation is treated as permanent and inherited. King Von built his entire public identity around being BD from O Block. His songs celebrated that identity. His beefs with FBG Duck with the GD sets on 63rd were extensions of it. When fans saw his mother near alleged GDs, they treated it as a posthumous violation of everything Von represented. But that expectation reveals something uncomfortable about how fans engage with this world. They treat the BD-GD war like entertainment, consuming drill music, following the feuds, memorizing body counts, while demanding that the people actually living inside it obey its rules at all times. Tisha Bennett is not a gang member. She is a mother who lost her son to violence. The idea that she must observe gang boundaries for the rest of her life, even in her personal relationships, speaks to how deeply this culture has embedded itself in public consciousness. The second layer is gender and age. Taisha's viral moments have always been filtered through scrutiny of her appearance and behavior. When she posted photos in form-fitting outfits, commenters told her to act her age. When she was seen clubbing and dancing, people questioned her priorities. When the twerking video surfaced and amassed millions of views, opinions ranged from admiration to disgust. The GD footage amplified all of this. It was not just that she was near alleged rivals, it was that she was out, visible, and unapologetic about living, while so many expected her to grieve quietly and permanently. The third layer is the ongoing chain of consequences that Von's death set in motion, a chain that has not stopped producing casualties. After Von was killed, federal prosecutors alleged that Lil Durk, Von's mentor and label head, placed a bounty on Quando Rondo and orchestrated a murder-for-hire plot. On August 19, 2022, in Los Angeles near the Beverly Center Mall, gunmen allegedly hired by Durk opened fire on Rondo at a gas station. Rondo survived, but his cousin Saviyaya Lol Pab Robinson was killed in the crossfire. Prosecutors claim Durk promised the hitmen money and music industry opportunities as payment, and that OTF funds covered travel and logistics for the attack. Durk was arrested in October 2024 near Miami International Airport while allegedly attempting to flee the country. He was charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. 5 alleged OTF associates, Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston, were also indicted on charges including murder for hire, resulting in death. As of early 2026, Durk remains detained pending trial, having pleaded not guilty. The legal fallout extends even further. FBG Duck's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Lil Durk, Von's estate, OTF, and Sony Music, alleging they operated as a criminal enterprise that dominated Chicago's drill scene through orchestrated violence. The suit claims record labels profited directly from promoting the dangerous rivalry between BD and GD rappers. Meanwhile, Lil Tim, the man who pulled the trigger that killed Von, is free, building a music career, and openly discussing the incident. He described on camera how the shooting fundamentally altered his body and his life.
I was calm. So it's like this time, I knew like, do the same thing, like stay calm and just make sure I get to the hospital.
He said he did not even know it was King Von he had shot until afterward, that in the chaos, he was simply trying to protect Quando Rondo from what looked like a group assault.
I didn't know neither one, if he was gone or still alive. I just, like I say, I didn't even know it was him.
In the fog of gunfire and adrenaline, identities blurred. He was reacting, not calculating.
So I didn't even know if he was dead or alive.
The war machine keeps producing new casualties and new content. Von's death rippled outward into federal indictments, multi-million-dollar lawsuits, a retaliatory killing in Los Angeles, and an endless cycle of social media commentary. Every new development, every arrest, every dropped charge, every viral clip gets fed back into the machine. Against all of that, Taisha Bennett went to a club. She danced. She was photographed near people the internet decided were GDs, and for that, she was subjected to the same judgment that has followed her since the day her son became famous and then became dead. The reactions on social media captured both sides with equal force. Supporters said she was in her 50s, not her 90s. Let her live. They saw resilience in a woman who refused to be defined solely by tragedy. Critics called it disrespectful, asking how she could be around people from the side that opposed everything her son stood for. Memes proliferated. TikTok edits overlaid her club videos with Von's music. The whole thing became a spectacle, which is exactly how the internet processes grief that belongs to someone else. What the viral footage ultimately exposed is not a betrayal by Tisha Bennett. It exposed the impossible expectations placed on the families of people lost to gang violence. She is expected to mourn according to rules she did not write, for a war she did not start, in a city that failed the communities where both the BDs and GDs were born. The BD-GD war has now persisted for over 50 years. It started with displaced young men forming protection crews on Chicago's South Side. It evolved through drug empires, federal RICO indictments, and the demolition of the housing projects that birthed both gangs. It migrated into drill music, where it became the most consumed form of street violence in entertainment history. And it continues, in courtrooms where Lil Durk awaits trial, in interviews where Lil Tim describes the night he shot a man he did not recognize, in lawsuits filed by mothers who lost their sons, and in viral clips of another mother trying to live her her life in the wreckage left behind. King Von's family released a statement after his death that captured something essential. It read, "Thank you to everyone who has showed their outpouring of love for King Von. You all played a massive role in Von's accomplishments, and by continuing to play his music and sharing your stories about how he has inspired and influenced you all, you're keeping his legacy alive." Those words, written in grief, asked fans to honor Von through his music. They did not ask fans to monitor his mother's social life, to police her friendships, or to weaponize her pain for engagement. The footage went viral because people wanted it to mean something. For some, it was proof that loyalty dies with the person who earned it. For others, it was proof that the living deserve to keep living, even when the dead cannot. Taisha Bennett did not owe the internet an explanation. She gave one anyway, and the internet, predictably, kept talking. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.